Welcome to the 5 Star Revolution podcast. I am your host, CJ Price. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5 Star Revolution Podcast, and also go over to our Facebook page. Just type it in, folks. Star Revolution Podcast on Facebook. Share the page for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Today we have a very special guest, and his name is Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth. Thank you for joining us here tonight, sir.
My pleasure, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you again. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. Were you a fan growing up as a kid, and who was your favorite wrestler?
Oh, I was absolutely a fan growing up as a kid. My grandpa actually got me into it super hardcore when I was growing up. None of my other family members were really super into it, but that was like kind of me and my grandpa's like special thing to do. We'd go to the hockey game, come home, rent some movies, watch our family movie with grandma, watch a horror movie at night, and then after all that's said and done, we'd watch our wrestling and just cap the whole night off. It was great. My favorite wrestler growing up probably would be Kane. Probably almost hands down. I love Kane. Everything about Kane, especially like when he wore his mask and stuff, was super scary. I thought as a kid, I'm like, why on earth would they let a real monster into the ring? Like, who on earth would agree to fight a real monster? So, I thought it. I thought it was great as a kid. I loved it. I was hooked.
So, what made you want to become a pro wrestler?
Just from being a fan since, kind of like when I was real young, I grew up playing all the games, watching John Cena and all them on TV and just loving it. Uh, I like being athletic in general. I've always been sports my whole life. Um, to be honest with you, I never even thought it was even an option growing up. I always thought like, I'm just gonna go to school. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do other options or whatever. Um, I kind of thought to myself one day, I can do anything I want in the world. Why would I not, want to go out there and chase my childhood dream? So I've been chasing that dream, and it's been great ever since. It's been an awesome ride.
And how'd you get your start into the professional wrestling business?
I started off, like I said, I was, kind of like a crossroads in life. I really didn't know like what to do. So, I knew I wanted to get into wrestling, but I didn't know how to go about doing it. So I made a couple calls. I made a couple Google searches. I wasn't really finding anything really in my area. So I ended up finding this promotion in Michigan called Pure Pro Wrestling. They ended up giving me the number or the contact info of Congo Kong, who has trained me since day one, and that has been my ultimate mentor and my the only reason why I'm any decent at at anything in professional wrestling. The reason why I'm even remotely watchable is because of him. He taught me everything, and he gets me everywhere I need to be.
Can you explain a little bit about your character and who the nerd is?
Well, first of all, I'm not a nerd. You should know that, right? Nah, just playing. Nelson, like I said, my name is Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth. Nelson, or I guess my initials stand for nerd, if you want to call it that way. I guess. But yeah. Actually, me and my coach came up with this name. We were kind of playing around with it. He knows my personality almost better than I do. Um, so we were kind of coming up with some ideas, and really it's a more over the top version of a jerk character that I like to play.
Okay, okay. And so you're a heel, I would say.
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, I'm very, very rarely am I ever cheered, but that's because they're idiots.
So I'm assuming that you like playing the heel more better than the face.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy going out there and playing my part, if that makes any sense.
And if you had a dream opponent, anyone that's wrestling right now, who would it be and why?
Probably Brock Lesnar. Um, Simply just because I think, actually, you know what? I take that back. it would be Brock Lesnar. My favorite, like all time, would probably be Stone Cold, just because Stone Cold is. I love Stone Cold, and if I had to rethink, like Stone Cold's right up there with Kane. Um, so either Stone Cold or Brock Lesnar. The reason why I said Brock Lesnar originally is because I think that'd be the funniest. I think since he's like the biggest and most legit guy in the history of professional wrestling, I think it'd be pretty fun if someone like me went up to him and thought he could take him. So I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
No offense, man, but personally, I think he would kill you in the ring.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You gotta have faith in Nelson, man.
So, what's the longest drive you have done for a show, and was it worth your while?
Longest drive I've done, I want to say, was either 6 or 9 hours. Forgive me, it's been a little bit of time. Um, Absolutely. Any trip you take as a professional wrestler, either as a trainee or just getting into the business, I don't care who you are. Any trip you take, in my opinion, is a valuable trip if you make it valuable. Um, Heck, even if you just go there just to stand there around and get your face known, you know what I mean? It's all about networking. It's all about, wanting to, get yourself out there to the promoters, let the promoters know you are willing to travel, you are willing to, set up, tear down, do what you got to do, kind of get your foot in the door and, kind of pay your dues and, prove your work in the business. Promoters
So,
like that, I think.
so when you do those long drives and you show up for a show and there's only like 20, 30 people in the crowd, are you disappointed, and how do you perform?
Absolutely not. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm happy if one person shows up. If one person showed up to see a wrestling match, I'm gonna give that person the I'm gonna try to give that person the night of their life. Or actually, better yet, I'm gonna try to ruin their night. I'm gonna try to let someone else, make it up for them. So at the very least, I'm gonna definitely try to go all out for that individual, even if it was just one fan. That fan deserves their money's worth, and I'm gonna try to give it to them.
So, what would you say is the hardest part of being a pro wrestler?
Just the overall toughness. You gotta be tough in this business. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm not that tough. I'm no tougher than anyone else, but you have to have a level of toughness to you, a level of grind. You gotta want it. This isn't for everyone. This is for a certain individual. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm worthy of being that kind of individual, but hopefully, one day I can get to where I want to be. And like I said, the biggest thing is, man, is just you got to be tough, mentally tough, and you got to be physically tough as well.
I totally agree. I used to be a wrestler myself in my area, and you definitely have to be tough mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
um, so what would you say is the proudest moment of your career so far?
The proudest moment I've had is when I debuted for JCW. I see the Insane Clown Posse. It's just the fact that I think it was a real, like, almost like solidifying moment for me. That I knew about JCW going into them. I've known, Insane Clown Posse. They're a big, huge, famous rap. I mean, everyone knows, the Insane Clown Posse. So just for me to get on there and be able to wrestle for them and get called back and wrestle for them again, that was really like a solidifying moment, to me as a professional wrestler, that hey, this is everything you could ever want and more. So I really was really grateful and thankful for that moment, and I hope to God I can get more of those, and I'm chasing that dream right now.
So, how long you been in business right now?
About a year, a little over a year.
So, you're still considered a rookie. You're still considered new to the business. How do you deal with those veterans that you're wrestling in a match and you come up with ideas and they just totally shun you and say, "No, we're gonna do it this way."
Guess what? I don't have a say, pretty much. I wouldn't have it any other way. Personally, I feel like this is a business. You earn your place. So if I have an idea and a veteran doesn't think it's right, that's probably because the veteran's right and I'm wrong. So I don't fight things. I do what I'm told. I try to do what I'm told for the most part. Like I said, they're a veteran for a reason. You don't last in this business um, if you don't have what it takes, in my opinion. So like I said, for the most part, it's kind of yes sir, whatever, but that's just kind of the deal. Uh, Kind of like in any profession you're in, you would listen to the veteran, in any kind of company you'd be in, just because they have the most experience, they know probably the most. So yeah, it is what it is.
So piggybacking on that, how do you deal with backstage politics?
I try not to. I try my best not to get into any sort of backstage politics or anything along those lines. Like I said, I try to yes sir, no, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, or miss or whatever. I try my best to stay out of things. I do like to have fun. I like to goof around with everybody. So everybody who knows me knows that like I like to mess with everybody, and they like to mess with me back. So it's all a lot of fun. So I really do try my best not to get involved in any sort of politics. I'm I'm eternally grateful that I'm even in this position in life. I could be doing anything else, but the fact that um, I don't mean to get spiritual on anyone, but the fact that God has allowed me to have these opportunities and these moments, um, especially right now, I don't want to jeopardize that in any sort of way, and I'm just internally grateful for every opportunity and everyone who gives me an opportunity, and everyone I wrestle with is great. I love them all.
So would you say that you would have to make a lot of sacrifices in your life in order to become successful in this business?
Yes, and I'll tell you what, I am blessed. I'm not in the same boat as everyone else. I'm very blessed to have a good foundation behind me. I have a wife that supports me and allows me to live my dream. Um, Luckily, I'm able to travel. I have a great coach, that helps me get to places where I want to be and get to my skill to where I need it to be. So I'm very very blessed. Having said that, you're not gonna get to where you want in life, in my opinion, without making sacrifices. It's all about making those calculated sacrifices and the opportunity costs and weighing in the pros and the cons and the rewards for everything. I'm not saying wrestling is everything, but at times it has to be. And you really got to figure out what your priorities are. And I'm never saying, and I would never say that to put like to put family or anything like that ahead of wrestling, but you definitely have to make sacrifices. Other, certain parties, I'm gonna miss, or certain birthdays I'm not gonna see. Yeah, I mean that just is what it is. But you try your best to make the big important dates, but for the most part, you're not gonna get to do everything else that everyone else is doing because you're out doing what other people wish they could be doing. So it's all about that opportunity cost.
I totally agree, man. When I used to be a wrestler, I used to miss birthday parties, weddings, and I would even have to sacrifice jobs, like
Yeah, that's a fact.
jobs that involve weekends I wouldn't be able to do because most wrestling shows are on weekends. So, so whether a face or a heel, how do you try to connect with that crowd and make them boo you or love you?
um Not that for me, I find it a lot easier to get hatred from the crowd. I come out there, I'm not the stereotypical bodybuilder type. I'm this lean, mean, cocky, jerk of a person, and I come out there, I hate your kids, I hate your, I don't care who you are, what I mean, I'll slap you in the face if you're not cheering for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I love getting in people's faces. I love, like, what I mean, making that connection with them, just because I want them to remember, who hates them or who appreciates them if they cheer for them. So I just, I really like making that connection with the people because, I like entertaining people. I think that's like my most favorite thing about wrestling is the entertainment part of it. I love, making people laugh. I love making people happy, or love making people upset. I love just getting their emotions going and just making them feel and just react, because I think the one of the missing things in life right now is just entertainment. I want to be as entertaining as possible. So if I can do that, that'd be great.
If there's one thing in this wrestling business that you can change, what would that be?
What I just said. I wish sometimes it could be a little bit more entertaining. Sometimes I feel like it's a little stale. Back when I was a kid, it was all about like over the top, Undertaker, and all this other stuff. I can't, and Stone Cold, like driving a beer truck to the ring, posing down his whole boss, The Rock, it's just like, I don't know. I really like the direction with Roman Reigns and where they're going, and I like some of the stuff that's going on in AEW and across the thing, but I wish it could be more entertaining. I wish there was more storylines that I could get into. I wish that certain talent was used a little bit differently. I wish. Sorry about that. Can you still see me?
No, there you go. There you go.
Sorry about that. Um, I wish certain things were a little bit different, but for the most part, yeah, just entertainment in general. I wish it was just a little bit more entertaining, but it's a little bit harder when you have a PG and a little bit audience that you're trying to maintain.
So, piggybacking on that, what's your current take on the product that's on TV today?
I love the talent that's on there. I absolutely love the talent. And like I said, I'm some rookie green kid. I can't say nothing. I mean, people should say what they want about me. I shouldn't have an opinion. But if I had to say one thing, like I said, I love all the talent. I love everything that goes on. Like I said, I just wish it was a little bit more entertaining at times. I wish it wasn't as stale. I wish I could follow and like sometimes I feel like I'll be watching something and then like I'll like stop watching for a minute and then I'll try to go back on and then like they're completely gone from what they were talking about and like it's hard to follow things and I don't know, and maybe 3 hours is a little bit too long in my opinion. But like I said, I don't have an opinion. I'm some green rookie kid.
So, being a rookie, have you shared a locker room with any legends or pro veterans that we might know?
Oh, absolutely. Sandman, Shane Douglas, Rhino, Congo Kong. Uh, uh, I've several. Yeah, I came. My Madman Fulton. Can't even think right now. The Boogeyman. Oh my gosh, the Boogeyman was my favorite. That was great. I have some funny stories about that. That was awesome.
So, can you share one or two funny road stories or backstage stories that you might want to share?
Uh, I have several. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, sometimes like the thing about this going into this, I was such a fan before I went into this, like you know what I mean. I went into this hoping for my best that I could hopefully fit in, and just to see these guys from like a fan's perspective and then to be end up wrestling with them or like be in the same show as them on a professional level is something that I definitely had to get used to at first because it's crazy. It's a whole nother experience. You see this person and they're looking at you like not as a fan but like as a fellow uh professional and it's like a dream come true almost or not even a dream come true. It's surreal. I'll tell you what would be a dream come true is having to get a match. That'd be surreal. I think that'd be a dream come true. That would be awesome. But the surreal part is just getting the fact that like you know what I mean. Like you're working with these guys and you're getting to be on the same show with these guys and you have to talk to them and it's crazy. I love every interaction. I got to speak with Rhino. Rhino gave me some of the best advice I've had in this industry. He really taught me how to work my character and work my size, and he gave me a lot of confidence in being the size that I am. Sometimes I get a little discouraged. Like I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not Brock Lesnar. How on earth am I ever gonna make it to where I want to make it? And having that talk with Rhino was really special to me because I know he's been on. I know he has that experience, and I know he knows what he's talking about. So it was great to hear from a legend like him, and to get some tips and pointers on how I can succeed in a big sea of fish.
So, what's your main goal in this crazy world of professional wrestling?
My main goal is to make it on to WWE. That's or AEW or on TV just in general. You know, I want to make it to the big time. That's I'll do anything to get there. Basically, I travel as much as I possibly can. I try to make as many sacrifices as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, you can only do as much as you possibly can, and hope for the best. So yeah, I'm just living the dream right now, and hopefully one day I'll get that WWE or TNA or Ring of Honor somewhere try out, and hopefully the rest will be history, because I like to think I have a lot to offer the business. Only time will tell, but yeah. Either way, I'm eternally grateful for the opportunities that I'm getting right now.
So, besides wanting to sign with TNA, AEW, or WWE, are there any indie promotions that you have your eye on that you want to debut at?
Um, Name me a few.
PWG, Game Changer Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling, CCW. Any promotions in your area or places that you heard of? I don't know.
Yeah. I'd like to get on to Warrior Wrestling. I was at a show not too long ago with them. I was just in the backstage and trying to get my face in there. They seem like a really great company to work for. I'd love to work for Warrior Wrestling. Um, CCW, that'd be great if I didn't have to do anything crazy. Um, I'd love to get on PWG as well. OVW would be a nice one. Simply, I think I'd love to get on OVW just because the legacies there. You had John Cena, Randy, and I believe Batista and a couple other guys went through there. And if I could get on there, that'd be really awesome, just for a personal level. Just for the mind blowing on that. So those are some companies I'd really like to work for.
And what can we expect out of Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth in the next 3 years?
Hopefully great things. I'm trying my best to get bigger. Trying my best to get better skill wise as well. So hopefully my body can grow with my skills in the ring. I'm hoping to kind of polish off, and hopefully in 3 years you'll see a more complete Nelson, and a much better version of myself than I am now. And who knows where I'll be. I'm hoping. I'm like I said, my goal is to make it to the top, and I'm not going to stop trying until I get there.
So, being a rookie, and I'm assuming there's more veterans than rookies in the backstage area. How do you deal with constructive criticism when you have a bad match or when you mess up?
Well, depending on who it is, if it's someone you're really close with, then you take it a little harder, just because it's like you don't want to disappoint them or whatever. Obviously you don't want to disappoint any professional wrestler. Um, some guys give it to you a little easier than others, but to be honest, you gotta take everything, and I've had my fair share of criticism, as I need, but that criticism, if it's like I said, if it's true, why wouldn't you want to be told that criticism? Like, for me personally, I want to be told if I mess up or if I could be doing something better. You know what I mean? Like, I may not always be happiest in the moment, hearing like, oh, hey, you could be doing this. You're like, oh, crap, like, great, I messed up, or I could have been doing something better. But, I'll go home and think about that. I'm like, you know what, like that, like, no, he is right, or she is right, or, like, I could be doing that, like, blah, 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 like, you know what I mean? And then you just go to practice and try to work on it. And to me, I appreciate constructive criticism. I don't know how you're going to get better without learning what you're bad at, and trying to fix your mistakes. So, um, anyone who gets into professional wrestling, be prepared to have some constructive criticism. I guarantee it. I don't care if you're The Rock, Stone Cold, John Cena, or whoever. You're gonna get criticized, and fairly so.
I totally agree with that. I used to get criticized all the time. My cardio wasn't up to par, and I also used to blow up like 5 minutes into the match. So yeah, I definitely heard some things backstage. How do you deal with promoters or bookers in a situation where you think you should be better placed on the card or how you're being used?
Like I said before, me personally, I don't have a say whatsoever. And that's a okay in my book. I'm just happy to be there. Um, Now, someone who's been in the industry for a while, someone who has a name to them, someone who has a draw to them, someone who can bring in their money's worth. They probably go about it a different way. Like, for example, let's do something crazy, like you got me versus John Cena, and they book me over John Cena, and John Cena probably have a problem with that, fairly so. Um, and Same with it is kind of is what it is. When you start off, like, I mean, how would you feel if you're a veteran, you've been working in this industry for 20 years, you've been putting your life and you've been putting all these sacrifices on the line, and you got some young punk kid like me coming in here and telling you, like, oh, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, blah 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 blah, and oh, by the way, I'm going to be going over, and here's what's blah, blah, blah. Like, even okay, let's pretend like even if it was like the greatest or the smartest booking idea in the world, that never gonna happen. Period. Like, I got news for you. Um, I mean, like I said, it all goes back to respect. We respect our period. Like, this is not an industry for everyone. Like I said, this is a tough industry. This is an industry where, if you've paid your dues and you've done everything you're supposed to, and you put your time in, I feel you absolutely deserve your respect. I don't care who you are. And everyone deserves respect, going into it. But just, yeah, like I said, if somebody books me first spot on the match and I'm losing clean to whoever, guess what? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and hopefully you like the match. Or thank you, miss, and whatever, and vice versa. Hopefully you enjoy the match, and I'm going to work best I can to make that match entertaining.
Great answer, man. Great answer. I like that mindset. Um, Last question before I let you go. Has wrestling changed your personal life? If so, how?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, like, my weekends aren't full, or my weekends aren't free anymore. Uh, I got a big social circle. I got a lot of. I like to think I have a lot of friends. I'm sure they think differently of me, but but so it gets hard, like, oh, hey, let's go out this weekend, or hey, let's do this weekend, or blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, I can't, I got a show, and that kind of gets old after the fifth or sixth time, or and then, like, it gets hard to do things, because they just kind of assume, like, oh, I thought you were already going to be not busy, so you kind of got to go. I don't know if you ever saw that Triple H Tough Enough YouTube clip,
Yes.
or whatever. It's on YouTube, but it was on TV before. Um, and he's like, you got to be home. You got to be super mom. You got to be super dad. You got to be super friend too. You got to. It's exhausting. That's what I'm saying. It's not for everyone. You got to have a high energy. You gotta really want it. You got to know what you want out of life. And like I said, I'm living an absolute dream. I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. I love this stuff. I'm thankful every day that I get to participate and be in this business. Um, so having said that, I am aware that you know I am in a good situation. So you have to be um uh what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, conscious of your sorry, I'm trying to find the word. You got to be conscious of your I can't think of it, but you just gotta you gotta appreciate what you have. You know what I mean? So, for example, like you're living the job of your life, or you live in the job of your dreams or whatever. That comes with a little bit extra responsibility too. With great power comes great responsibility. So you gotta do it all. It's like I said, you gotta be super mom, super dad, super friend, super husband, super whatever. So yeah, it's just it's hard, but if you want it, you can do it. And like I said, man, who doesn't want to live the dream?
And if you do it the right way, it's very rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, this becoming a pro wrestler was the best decision I ever made, hands down, the best decision I ever made. I love it, and I'm I love it. I love it more and more every day. And like I said, I never thought in a million years people would be chanting, my name or booing me, or you know what I mean, like wanting to take pictures with me and all this other stuff. And it's great, man. Like I said, I couldn't be more thankful, and I really am blessed to be in the situation I am in.
So where can our fans connect with you on social media?
The fans, as long as you cheer for me, just kidding. Everyone can follow me. You can follow me on Facebook at Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth. You can follow me on Instagram, same thing, or I think it's at Nerd Fifth. So 5th. Same with Twitter at Nerd 5th Nerd Fifth. Instagram, and then YouTube as well. You can find me on YouTube, Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth. I think that's all of them: Instagram, Facebook, yeah, blah, blah, YouTube, all that. So yeah, anything with Nelson Edwin Robert Doolittle the Fifth, it's me.
Well, thank you, Mr. Nelson Edward Robert Doodle V. We really appreciate your time here on the Five Star Revolution podcast. It was a pleasure. Great stories. We wish you the best of luck in your career. Listen to those veterans, man. They have a great mind. So
Yes,
listen to.
sir. Yes, sir.
And we want to tell all of our listeners to continue to support us here on the Five Star Revolution podcast. We're giving away a $100 Visa gift card. So get to it. Share, share, share our Facebook page, Five Star Revolution Podcast. Mr. Robert Doolittle, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.